I am now going to take a couple of questions. 8444 Dr. Umar, 8444 Dr. Umar, 8444 Dr. Umar, 215-989-9858. Let's tap in. Going once. Sister Karen going twice. Peace and love,
How are
Sister Karen.
you?
How you doing, sister? Where are you in the world?
I'm in Canada.
You're in Canada. Which state in Canada? Which province?
At Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, I've been to Toronto a couple times. Shout out to my Toronto family.
Thank you.
What's shout out to Toronto. What's on your mind, gorgeous?
I just want to appreciate you so much. Just for like every day calling out the coons. Like, if you come to Canada, it's just scary. And we really, really need your message to go out to the masses. So I just really appreciate your messages. Especially attacking what Joe Biden said as well. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Queen.
You're welcome.
Hold on one second. I got to block somebody because once. So what's going on up in Canada? How are you guys doing with the COVID? Is there a lot of cases up there? It's pretty bad in the States. We've lost 20,000 African people in just these 60 days. How are you guys doing up there?
We're doing much better than the States for sure. Like, I see the news and your numbers are really, really high. There's a lot of cases here too, but not as much as the States. And in terms of Black people, like, well, in Toronto and like the greater Toronto area, it's very diverse, but like outside of that, there's not a lot of Black people. So in terms of like numbers for like races, we don't see much of that. Like, there's not a great focus on that.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, we're just trying to social distance, but you can see that people are restless. Like, they want to go outside. They're ignoring that Corona's there. Yeah. So
you're currently on quarantine? Are you guys currently on quarantine where you have to remain in the homes?
Yeah, so we're currently on quarantine, but things are opening up. So like, if you go to the grocery store, you just have to line up, stuff like that. Okay. And are the children still being educated online? Are they required to sign in to receive their education, or no? Is it all on the parents during this time? Do you know at all? Yeah, so it's well, I just graduated from university, so like we were done in May, so we weren't in school. But I do know that there was homeschooling for like elementary school students. That's wrapping up.
And did you guys have a commencement ceremony, or did the pandemic prevent that?
Yeah, it prevented that. We didn't have one. So. But it's
okay. Sorry to hear that. That's okay. You have many more.
Yeah.
When you get that doctorate, you'll get one.
Exactly. Thank you.
Well, thanks for tapping in, sister.
No problem.
I look forward to coming back to Toronto soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead and tap in. I'll do a few more. Kiana Thomas going once. Kiana Thomas going twice.
Hello, how you doing?
How you doing, Sister Kiana? Where are you in the world?
In South Carolina.
South Carolina. Give me a city. Charleston, Rock Hill,
Columbia.
Greenville.
I'm not from South Carolina, so.
Okay, well, where's home? Where you from?
Philly in the house.
From Philly. Okay,
yes.
Philly is in the building.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Queen. What's on your mind?
First, I would like to thank you for accepting my request. Thank you for your voice, and just continuing to put your foot forward despite opposition. I'm a former teacher, now a current homeschool mom.
Okay.
So I've been in the classroom, but now I'm home, and I was homeschooling before COVID, right? So my concern and my issue is that we as a community and a race of people are hurting. And like you were mentioning about the parents the kids not being able to log on, the parents not being accountable, making sure their kids are logging on. And I'm hearing all of these concerns and all of these issues. But my question is, with those concerns and issues, how can we help? What can we do? Where is the solution?
We have to build homeschool networks. We have a couple operating around the country who are doing a good job, a very good job. But most homeschool Black parents are not part of a network. So one of the most effective things you can do where you are is begin that process of letting people know, I'm going to have an online meeting for parents who are interested in being part of the Ida B. Wells homeschool network, if you would. And homeschooling is such a solution, or should I say, such a temporary solution. It's not permanent. Permanent is having schools where the kids can come and learn together in large group. Okay, but it is a good temporary solution. It works for everybody. Because if you have 9 other families that want to homeschool with you, that means there's 10 different subjects being taught. You plus 9.
Right.
You follow.
And see, I did that. I did that. I created a homeschool co-op. It was art and science, but the problem is, and I wanted to gear it towards just our group, because we don't have that representation, especially in the school community. So you go into the regular school community, which is one of the reasons why I needed to homeschool my children. I need them to know their true history. We are not slaves. Our people were enslaved. There is a difference.
Absolutely.
And just the brainwashing and the mindset that they just try to push on us. The problem is we as a community, and they've done such a great job with this and keeping us separated. We as a community don't know how to come together.
Absolutely.
And we don't know how to support each other. And when there is somebody trying to do something, it's just always backlash.
And that's why
it starts from within.
Yes, ma'am. And not to cut you off, but that's why when you reorganize your homeschool network, you want to determine for yourself how many parents you want to be a part of that. And then you also need to have exclusionary criteria that everybody knows about up front. If you miss your class twice, you and your child might be out of this homeschool network. You follow me? There's going to, you know, because Black people, we bring whatever, although we talk unity. We love to talk unity. We don't practice it.
Exactly.
We bring that self-hate. We bring that gossip.
Yes.
We bring that light skin supremacy, dark skin supremacy energy. We bring that I have a college degree and you don't energy. So you have to be able to exclude people too. And at this point in our sojourn here in this country, after 400 years under European oppression, I would argue that being able to put people out of an organization is just as effective as being able to bring people into an organization.
Wow, that's a
I want
great
to say that
perspective.
again. And I hope everybody who's an organizer is listening to this. I hope everybody who's an organizer is listening to this when I say this. It is just as important to be able to put people out of an organization than it is to bring them in, because we have people in our community who join organizations either to destroy them or to co-opt them.
Exactly. Wow.
I can't tell you how many opportunists I have seen over 20 years who came into my organizations to either sabotage for jealousy or to try to co-opt and steer it away from its foundational purpose for being created in the first place. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I have some room for growth there, because I have often been of the opinion that if everyone else remains focused, then that hater cannot flourish.
Exactly.
But I've been wrong. I have been wrong. Some of the strongest people I've met, because of that Willie Lynch vulnerability, they have been particularly susceptible to being turned against the work and the organization. They are susceptible to self-hate. So you cannot, do not underestimate how influential just one, you cannot underestimate how influential one coon will be in an organization with 100 positive Africans. Put them out the minute you notice you are not here for the right purpose. You're not here for the right work. You have to go. And that has been a weakness of mine, but I have learned from it. And when we go forward with FDMG and Team Pan African, I am going to become ruthless
Right.
against the
Yeah.
renegades.
Yeah.
You cannot allow people to destroy something that you have worked for. And you have to make sure that your day ones are really your day ones. Because most of our great leaders have been destroyed and assassinated by their day ones. Nearly every one of them.
Wow.
So this Black leadership game can be a very dangerous thing,
right,
if you are not serious about bringing in the right people and putting out the wrong people.
Thank you. That was amazing. Really, that was really good. And that part, I had to write that down, excluding people from, because again, it's just like being on social media. We're so interested and so excited about having people join our calls,
Yes,
that we're not really looking at or even understanding what their motive is.
Quality over quantity. Quality over quantity wins any day of the week. Give me 5 strong than 500 weak.
Right.
5 strong will do more than 500 weak. You only want the strong ones. Sometimes we want to settle for anybody who shows up. No, you have to put them through the same rigorous prove yourself process. You have to.
Now, I have a question.
Easy come, easy go. Easy come, easy go.
Exactly.
If it's easy for them to get that close to you, it'll be easy for them to sabotage you and walk out as well.
Exactly. I totally agree. With your school that you're talking about starting, do you have any plans on offering online options?
Down the road, but not in the immediate. However, though, because of this COVID pandemic, I am fast tracking my homeschool network, which is something that I've always planned to do, but it was way down in the distant future.
Okay.
Because I felt that we as a people were selling our children too short, too soon, by only willing to build homeschools and homeschool networks, as opposed to providing our children with what all other children have, and that is brick and mortar institutions where they can learn face to face from a teacher in concert with their peers. As I said earlier, if we can voluntarily hemorrhage tens of millions of dollars for useless products, why can't we voluntarily hemorrhage tens of millions of dollars for brick and mortar academic institutions? So we are going to move forward with the homeschool network, and there will be a virtual academy built into the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy platform, but that will be a few years down the road. The homeschool network may actually begin prior to the virtual school campus.
Okay, well, if that's the case, look into me, because I have my master's and national board certification as a teacher. I also create for our community. I create resources. Don't do that. I create resources for our community geared towards African Americans, because once again, when I'm looking at teaching my child, whether it's ABCs or whatever, my kids are young, elementary. I do have a child in college. Full scholarship. I'm on the phone. Stop. Thank you. Stop. Full scholarship. But what I found was the same issue I had in a public school setting, with the support, with the understanding of who we are as a race of people. That is not there.
It's not.
It's not there at all. So I had to create it for myself and for my own children.
Powerful. Powerful.
Yeah. So thank you for
your time. Keep up the good work. Did you take my number?
I did not.
Okay, let me know when you're ready. I'll give it to you.
I'm ready.
215-989-9858. And I want you to text message me so I can lock you in.
Okay.
So when the time comes for the homeschool network conference, which we plan to have at the Marcus Garvey building once we're done with the restoration, I'll be able to go through my Rolodex, and everybody who has homeschool next to the name, I'll be able to send you the flyer and the registration information.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Queen. Be blessed now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Right. It's about organization, people. It's about organization. We have to organize to improve our communities, to protect our children, and to look out for ourselves. It's about organization. Go ahead and tap in. I'll take a few more. Go ahead and tap in. Is that Whitney? Is that Whitney J? Whitney Houston, Whitney Johnson? Where you at, Whitney?
Hi.
Peace and love, Sister Whitney. Where are you in the world?
I am in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. I'm loving
Yes.
your natural hair, Queen. What's on your mind today?
Thank you. Well, I've been following you for a while now, and I just graduated college. I wanted to show you my graduation cap.
Okay.
It's Dr. Umar inspired.
Oh my goodness. Oh my god. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Politics over Punani. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I just graduated with my bachelor's in politics, so I wanted to,
Congrats. Political science?
Sorry?
Political science?
Yeah.
I was also political science.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank you. Like, keep putting your message out there. Like, people are listening, and don't listen to the haters and all of that.
I don't pay them any mind.
Yeah.
That's my, we're about to do the Pan-African fast on June 10th. And so one of my pledges is to not give my energy anymore to the haters, but go right ahead, Queen.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll let you get back to it.
Will do. Appreciate you. And once all of this is over, I will be coming back down to Atlanta. I normally do my lectures at the Shrine of the Black Madonna on Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard. But
Okay.
Just make sure you follow me on one of the social networks. So when I put that flyer out there, if you have time, you can come on through.
Great. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, Queen. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Politics over the Punani. Wifey resumes. Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com. Co-wifey resumes. Go ahead, tap in. Another question. Yana for life. Yana for life.
Hi.
How you doing, Sister Yana?
Good. How are you?
Where you at in the world, Queen?
Right now, I'm in the car with my family. We're going on a road trip to Florida, so that's cool.
Coming from where? Where was home at?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta to Florida. Okay.
How
Much
are
love.
you?
All is well, Queen. What's on your mind?
I didn't know you were gonna accept me. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I have a question. Like, you were talking about earlier how we include everybody because we try to make people feel comfortable, even though they're okay with not making us feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And like, doesn't that go for non-Black people of color too? Do you think so?
Give me that again.
Like, okay, so for example, I'm in college and there are a lot of like organizations for like Black students, but I go to a PWI, I go to Boston University, and I just feel like they're usually like when it's a Black group, like when it's a group made for like to give Black students a voice, I feel like they include other like non-Black people of color,
Yes.
like Hispanics
Yes.
and things like that, and
Yes.
I feel like that should go for them as well, even though
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I went to a PWI, Millersville University in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And I was president of the Black Student Union and founder of the NAACP student chapter.
Mhm.
Same issue. A lot of our members wanted to bring non-Africans in.
Yeah.
So much so that they start to drown out the voices of the African-American students.
Exactly.
So that's that love everybody more than yourself mentality that works against our own best interests.
Mhm.
And we get shamed into doing that
Yeah.
because no one values the right for us to congregate amongst ourselves. When we do it, it's called hatred.
Yeah.
When everybody else do it, it's called cultural solidarity. But when Black people do it, it's called hate. And to that, I would just say we have to become unapologetically African. I don't have a problem explaining to a European American that we're not doing this because we hate you.
Mhm.
We're doing this because we have a right to be by ourselves sometimes.
Mhm.
We need safe space. America is a very toxic place for Black people. Very
Yes.
toxic. And to help us deal with the pressure of being Black in a white society, we need to be alone sometimes. And even if it were not a racist country, as a culture, we need to come together in order to practice our culture by ourselves. Everybody has a right to be
exactly. Okay. Well, that's all I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for
Thank
adding
you, Queen.
me.
No problem.
Bye.
Be blessed.
Nice meeting you.
Tap in. Brother Rashad going once. Brother Rashad going twice.
Dr. Johnson, you brought me on. I'm happy. I'm happy. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you. Why can't I see you, my brother?
I don't know. I'm in Ghana right now. I'm in West Africa.
Oh, no problem. No problem. You in Ghana.
I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. First off, thank you for what you do. I met you 5 years ago in Brooklyn. You did an event with Dr. Claude Anderson and David Banner.
Yes.
At one of the persons. I ran into you backstage. You was in your space, and I asked you for a picture. You was cool about it. I knew you was.
I remember that. I remember that. Yes, sir, brother. 5 years.
You had on a purple. You had on a purple joint.
Yes, sir.
That I just came back from my first trip to Africa, to Ghana, and I started a tourism company. We started to take people to Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, and Rwanda, and it blew up.
I lost him. I lost him. I lost him. My brother, if you can hear me, I'm going to try to add you again. But if I can't add you again, my brother, send me a text message. I want to learn about your tours because I might let you do my next group trip. I repeat that. Okay? And that's for anybody out there with a tour company. If you do tours to the continent or to the Caribbean islands, if you do tours and you have experience putting on groups, I would love to see what type of packages you have, what kind of rates you have, because I may allow you to produce the next Dr. Umar group tour for summer of 2021. So just email me some information about yourself, Dr. Umar Johnson at yahoo.com. Brother Rashad. Brother Rashad. Brother Rashad.
Brought me back in, but
okay, listen to me, Brother Rashad. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah, I heard you was about the number.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Do you have my number? Do you have my number?
Yes. The 215989.
Yes, because I want you to send me your tour packages because my next group tour might be with your company, my brother.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I bring a lot to the table.
As soon as you can send it to me, as soon as I can look at it. I mean, I know the flights and everything is kind of messed up right now because of the pandemic, but if you can show me as much as you can, then we may very well go with you next year.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely very well organized. I'm well organized.
Okay.
And
I need that info. I need that info.
Okay. I wish you
lost them again. We lost Brother Rashad again. That's okay, Brother Rashad. You got my number. You got my number, so make sure you hit me. Make sure you hit me. We got King Ramil. King Ramil. Going once.
Hello?
King Ramil. Why I can't see you? Where you at, brother?
Right here, man. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. Why can't I see you, though? There you go. I can see you now. I can see you now. Okay. Where you at in the world, my brother?
I'm in Atlanta, man. Your third
Atlanta. What's on your mind, my brother?
So, man, I've talked to you a few times, man, before. I'm the film major from Georgia State. I just graduated, actually, from Georgia State. Okay. I'm the film major.
Now, when you say films, what's your focus? Documentaries or feature films?
All of it. All of it. Narrative, documentaries, all of it. I want to do all of it.
Well, you let me know what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? I do a little acting, so I'm trying to put together something conscious, though. Something conscious.
And we talked about the Prisoner Pipeline documentary. I talked to you.
Okay, I got a brother leading on that.
Okay, that's cool.
But that don't mean we can't use you for when I come down south to do the interviews. You feel me?
Right.
Because he's in New York. King Ab's in New York. But when I go to Georgia, maybe you got to handle the videography for Georgia because I got to interview the parents in that area.
And man, thank you so much. And I got plenty of people down here. I got an internship with people who are videographers and people that I connect you with too. So just let me know.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, man. In this pandemic, I've kind of been wondering why this has happened during a census year. I wonder if that's a coincidence.
It's not a coincidence.
I want to get your thoughts on.
Yeah, I definitely believe that that was a collaborative effort, because as you know, the census began with needing to keep count of the amount of Africans who are still in the country.
Mm-hmm.
The census was for us to make sure they knew exactly how many Africans were in America after the American Revolution. Yes, sir. The census was for us to make sure they were always aware of our numbers. So it's no coincidence. COVID, get rid of as many as you can,
mm-hmm.
and then keep a strict count on how many you have left. And I also believe that one of the reasons the stimulus checks came out
mm-hmm.
was because they felt that a lot of African Americans would not fill out the census paperwork. So one of the best ways to get African Americans to fill out the census paperwork is to offer them that check. And when you go online to fill out the information for your check, you're basically giving them the information they need for the census. So the stimulus check was the mouse trap for the census. The stimulus check was the mouse trap for the census.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, that's interesting, because they never would talk about that in school or anything like that. And another thing, she was like, since you've taken on this career in activism, what has been the most challenging part of trying to achieve your biggest goal, which is liberation for us? Like, what has been the biggest challenge you've had so far?
Good question. Very good question. Firstly, I would say that I was well prepared for the job because I studied the trials and tribulations of all of my Pan-Africanist predecessors, as well as my two biological relatives who were also activists, the Honorable Frederick Douglass and Bishop Wayman of the AME Church. So studying their life story, I saw how difficult it would be to organize us for our own benefit. And I also learned how difficult it would be to fight back against the oppression. But speaking specifically for me, I would say the most challenging part of the work right now is getting members of our community to understand that I am not a celebrity. I am an activist. That is the toughest part of the work now. So many people see me more as someone to, and I love taking the pictures. I don't have a problem taking the pictures. I don't have a problem with the interviews. I love all that. All of that is beautiful to me. But I take issue with the fact that nobody wants to do no work. They just want to come to the events. They want to have fun, but they don't want to do work. So I would say the toughest part is getting people to see that I'm not an athlete, I'm not a rapper, I'm not an entertainer, I'm a grassroots activist. And if you want to be aligned with me, you have to do work for the people. The toughest job is getting people to do the work.
Excellent answer. And I figured you would say something like that, because I know a few nameless people have tried to, donate to the cause and things like that, and various things have cost you some opportunities. We've spoken about that. I also think that with celebrity in particular, I don't know if we, you and other scholars, Boyce Watkins and Pat Napier, who are spoken about the community, have said that how Black celebrities, and sometimes shouldn't be so quick to trust some of them, not because of their position in capital, their position in how much money they have. Not saying that they don't have a cultural commitment, but that they might be less incentivized because this is for them. Do you believe that in modern day society, Black people, do you think that I had a discussion yesterday, do you think we're more selfish than we've ever been when it comes to helping hand in hand?
Hands down. Let me give an example for that. Well, first of all, I want to say that the Black celebrity should not be evaluated as an individual, but as an entity. Black celebrities should not be evaluated only as individuals, but as a political phenomenon and an entity. I'm saying that to say that to demonize individual Black celebs would not help our cause, because you're failing to recognize that there's a system in place that breeds a Black celebrity who is not loyal to the Black community. I want to say that again. There's a system that produces these Black celebrities who are not loyal to the Black community. If you only look at them from an individual perspective, you will miss the point that this is not about a personality. It is about a system of breeding rich Blacks who do nothing for the community. And that this system is maintained by the Black community and the white power structure in cooperation. We support them, we encourage them, we advertise them. So we are just as guilty as is the power structure for all of these rich celebrities who don't have loyalty to the Black community. I look at the Michael Jordan, and I was watching a video today, and they were talking about, and they were talking about how much he ignored what was going on in the Black community while he was in his prime. Not only did he fail to support publicly certain Black elected officials, he said nothing about the Rodney King riots. He said nothing about the Black youth who were being murdered for his sneaker, okay? And when he was asked why didn't he support a Black man running for office in his own town against a noted racist, he simply said that Republicans buy sneakers too. And when he was interviewed on the documentary about it, he said, I was dedicated to being an athlete, not an activist.
Right.
So Michael, but look how much we have supported him then and now through the purchase of his Air Jordan sneaker. Black people made Air Jordan the #1 selling sneaker in the world. Yeah, we did that. So here's a man who has not reciprocated on our investment. Michael Jordan has not reciprocated on our investment, but yet and still we champion him and we promote him just like we do Barack Obama, just like we do many of these rappers.
Yes. And I was going to ask you that. I spoke about that. I took African American psychology class this past semester, my last semester. I'm gonna give you 2 more questions and I'm gonna let you go. So speaking to your point about that, do you think that comes from us being so disadvantaged and oppressed that we need that symbolism, kind of like what you and Sean were talking about in that view, the symbolism of success, the symbolism of moving forward through one person vicariously? We need. You think that comes from us needing that symbol?
I would say we think we need it, because anything that does harm to the community is not required for the community. Anything that does harm to the community is not required for the community. Barack Hussein Obama was a weapon against the community. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was a weapon against the community. So we don't need empty symbols that don't come with substance. With that being said, we are in a very bad position if we're going to argue that Black people need the United States government and power structure to provide us with role models and symbols of Black masculinity and progress. In other words, the community should be choosing who they're going to hold up as symbols of progress and masculinity. The government doesn't choose that. The white power structure doesn't choose that. We should be choosing that. So my answer to that question is we do not need their symbols, but we could use our own symbols, but only if those symbols are going to be substantive. They cannot just be superficial. It must mean something. In other words, for Barack Obama to be a symbol, he must be actively doing something. For Michael Jeffrey Jordan to be a symbol, he must actively be doing something, and neither one of them have. And they are probably the two greatest symbols of Black masculinity in America, both of whom have done nothing for the community. So that shows you how much of a psychological quagmire we are in as a people.
Yes. And I would also add, that's why I think LeBron James is viewed in a different light from me than Michael Jordan, because at least LeBron is
LeBron James, I give him much more respect. When it comes to off court, speaking up for the community off the court, he's the GOAT over Michael Jordan, over Kobe Bryant, almost over everyone else. And I'm going to say almost because
with Ali being in that conversation as well.
Yeah, well, I mean in contemporary times.
Okay, got you.
Muhammad Ali is a god compared to LeBron. If you're going to compare LeBron James to Muhammad Ali, then LeBron James respectfully would be a coon by Muhammad Ali standards. No, I mean respectfully, because I support LeBron. But if you're going to compare him to someone like an Ali or our brothers who put up the fist at the Olympic Games in Berlin, LeBron don't compare to them. Compared to a Jordan and a Kobe, LeBron has done a good job. Compared to a Muhammad Ali, LeBron can be doing much better than he is.
Would you say Colin Kaepernick is a better comparison?
Yes, I would put Colin Kaepernick even above LeBron Jordan. Excuse me, LeBron James, because Colin Kaepernick took a stand that cost him his career. LeBron James has never taken a stand that would cost him his career. Not yet. He has never taken it. And I don't want him to lose his career. I want to be clear. I'm simply saying that there's nothing he has said or done that is worthy of consideration for being, for him being considered a threat to the image of the NBA or professional sports.
Absolutely. And one last question, I'm gonna let you go. In my African American psychology class, we talked about helping the community on a grassroots level, micro level, institutional level, macro level, so on and therefore. One of the solutions that I found, or how do you feel about grassroots organizations that
we need them?
You want specific? You said sorry again?
No. I was just saying, I was interjecting to say we need them, but continue. We need grassroots.
Yeah. I was saying this. So I found one in particular. I'm not going to name them on this live, but I'll tell you about it through your number. They practice. How do you feel about a grassroots organization that one of the suggestions I made that they can have is for those of our people who are coming out of situations where they've been in prison or in jail, especially for nonviolent drug offenses. How do you feel about a plan in which we implement a grassroots organization that has maybe job programs or job training programs, if there aren't any already, for those who are coming out of prison, especially?
Okay. I pause only because a job training program doesn't necessarily give you a job.
Okay.
So whatever we implement as a solution, it must directly address a problem. So we need to be able to give our people the training plus the job. If the training doesn't guarantee a job, then the training is a waste of time. Just like with college, you get all this training and rarely does it equal jobs for Black people. You follow? So when somebody says go to college as a solution, going to college in and of itself is not a solution unless it leads to employment. And for the bulk of our people, it does not lead to employment. So just make sure it's connected to a tangible. It must be connected to a tangible. Opportunities and resources. Opportunities and resources. Those are what Black people need.
And absolutely. And one last thing I'll say is agreeing to your point of all tangibles and everybody who's talking about something we can actually see, touch. I think that from now on, we shouldn't be fighting for changes unless it's something. We should be fighting for change on fronts, but especially change for something we can feel. Not just imagine, but you need to feel change. That's when you know change is effective. When you can feel it and it's affecting what your everyday life routine would have been, that's what I think we need to be fighting for. Something that's going to happen to that point where it affects us so strong that we can feel the change and actually feel like we're getting to where we want to be, instead of just kind of going in this circle of we're activists when a tragedy happens, then we go back to the same pattern. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You know why? Because there has been no revolution of consciousness yet. And a lot of us have mistook information accumulation for a revolution of consciousness. It doesn't matter how many books you read, how many trips to Africa you take, how many African names you assume, how many black colleges you've been to, how many grassroots organizations you belong to. It means nothing unless you have declared war on your inner coon. One of the reasons we're doing the 21-day fast from June 10th to July 1st is to declare war on the inner coon. We still have that in us. It is there. It has been there for 400 years. And until we crucify that demon inside of us that keeps on telling us we don't have a right to be better and that we can't do better, we'll never get around to becoming better. There must be a psychological revolution before there's anything else. And that's why we're starting with the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
All right, man. Excellent answer, man. That's
Thank you, brother. You got my number, so hit me up.
Yes.
Let's talk about that film thing. Let's talk about that film thing.
Yeah. I'm a screenwriter, man. That's what I do. I want to contribute my part to creating fresh, new, original, progressive Black stories. That's going to be my biggest contribution to our people, and to also work with people like you who are putting tangible institutions and plans together to actually push our people forward, man. So I appreciate you, man, for everything that you do. Continue to do it. I'll continue to support you.
Got you, my brother. Be
All
blessed.
Right,
all right. Reasonable doubt, Sister Jessica going once. Reasonable doubt, Sister Jessica going twice. Reasonable doubt. Where you at, Sister Jessica? I think I saw that Haitian flag. I think I saw that Haitian revolutionary flag, but I don't see Sister Jessica, so I'm going to have to tap out. Who else about to tap in? Who about to tap in? Swank the indigo. Swank the indigo. Going once. Where you at, Swank? I got to see you to talk to you. Swank wasn't ready. Tap in. Okay. Tap in. Jahel going once. Jahel going twice. Jahel going 3 times. Not Jahel. Cancel that. Where did Professor Rob at? Professor Rob? Professor Rob.
Hi there, sir.
Professor Rob. Peace and love, brother. Where are you at in the world?
I'm from London, England, sir.
Where you at in the world? London, England? What's going on over in the UK? Y'all keeping safe? Yes, sir. Are y'all keeping safe over in the UK?
Yeah, man. Can you see me?
I cannot see you, but I can hear you clearly.
Well, I just wanted to say, can you hear me now, sir?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Yeah, man. Nice to meet you. So I just want to say that the numbers is getting the worst in the world. However, it's been.
We lost them. We lost them. I want to quit. Glamour Fashion 95 going once. Glamour Fashion 95 going twice.
Yes, I'm here.
I need to see you, Queen. You got me in the dark. Let me see your beautiful face.
I'm actually doing something right now, but I just have a quick question to ask you.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, so I'm an African who came from Angola.
And where do you live now? Where are you?
I live in Fremont, California.
Fremont, California. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so I'm an African who has been here for 8 years. I've been here for 8 years, and I went to school. I went to high school and middle school here in America. So back home in Africa, we have a really bad reputation of African Americans. And when I came to the United States, I saw a lot of African Americans discriminating African people, and they did not have no interest of actually getting to know about me. And I was discriminated many times, and they would make jokes, make fun. I just want to know why that happens.
Okay. Good question, Princess. First of all, I want to say, on behalf of American Africans, our community, I apologize for your experience. You should not have had to go through that. And I wish I could have been there to do something about it. With that being said, I want you to know that that experience should not be generalized to all members of the American African community.
Okay.
You need to know that we don't have as many Pan-Africanists in the United States as we need.
Okay.
Many of our people are either Muslims or Christians, or they belong to Black religious nationalist groups who do not consider themselves to be African at all. Okay. So you need to understand that when they see you, some of our people, not all of our people, not most of our people, they don't see their brother or sister.
Yes.
But you should also know that many American Africans can make the same complaints about immigrant Africans when they come to America. Mm-hmm. They have had similar experiences with brothers and sisters who come from across the Atlantic. They may not get joked about or picked on, but they get ignored, talked down to, or dismissed by immigrant Africans, continental Africans, some of whom have an arrogance because they were not victimized by American slavery. Mm-hmm. I say all that to say that it is all about your consciousness. In other words, if you have a Pan-African consciousness, mm-hmm. and I have a Pan-African consciousness, the fact that you were born in Africa and the fact that I was born in America doesn't make a difference, because we recognize that we are brothers and sisters. And on the flip side, you have coons in America. You also have coons in Africa. There are coons everywhere. So what you have to do is the same thing that I have to do, and that is find Africans of like mind. Those from America, those from Africa, those in Europe, those in the Caribbean, those in Australia, and we have to unite the Pan-Africanists. The Pan-Africanists must become a family first. And once we unite all the Pan-Africanists around the world, it'll be easy to transform the consciousness of those brothers and sisters who don't recognize that we are all one family.
Okay. And then the other question I have is that I also see that a lot of African Americans always focus on the east part of Africa. So they never even include us in Africa. So basically it's all about Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, and other countries. And sometimes it makes me mad because everybody just thinks that, oh, you're from Africa, you probably come from the other side. How come you speak Portuguese? That's not correct. And it's kind of like, what are you saying? So I also get confused about that. Why do you only have to talk about other parts of Africa but exclude us?
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. And you're not the first person to say that. However, to clarify, and in defense of American Africans, most of our foreparents were taken from the Western region of Africa. So one of the reasons there's so much focused on that area is because many of us, our ancestors, were deported directly from the West Coast of Africa.
That is not true. That is not true.
Wait,
because
I'm not done. I'm not done. Most of our ancestors were deported from the West Coast of Africa. However, for those of us who know the history, the full history of the enslavement of African people, we know that there were also Africans who were stolen from the center of the continent, from the south of the continent, and in particularly when slavery was outlawed by the British and by the Americans later in 1808, what the pirates would then do in order to avoid the American naval military and the British naval military is they would go around the Horn of Africa and they would actually enslave Africans on the east coast of Africa. So we come from all over the continent. That is indisputable. However, we predominantly come from the West. I am of the opinion that we should embrace the totality of the continent because Africa began from a single man or woman and woman. So it doesn't matter if you're Congolese or Angolan or Ethiopian or Eritrean or Ghanaian or Liberian, we are one family. And so for me, I embrace the whole continent. And to that end, I would like you to know that I'm scheduled to speak in Angola in October, this coming October. I don't know if COVID is going to jeopardize that event to which I was invited, but I am scheduled to speak in Angola in either October or November. So I do believe, and as Pan-Africanists, we do not believe that we should only focus on West Africa. We believe we should focus on the entire continent.
Okay, thank you so much for the clarification, and keep doing your job. I really
thank you,
what
Queen.
You do.
Thank you. Be blessed.
Have
man.
a nice day.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Monroe youth going once. Monroe youth going twice.
I'm sorry.
Hey, beautiful. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Where you at in the world?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Wait a minute. We spoke before, right?
Did.
Okay. Where you at in PA? Reading, York? Where you at?
Oh, I'm in Levittown.
Levittown, PA. Levittown. I was in Levittown. What's in Levittown?
You?
Oh, I know what's in Levittown. I can't say, but I know it's in Levittown. No, it's a business thing. That's the only why I can't say.
Okay.
What you doing in Levittown, though? It's like 2 black folks in Levittown. What you doing in Levittown?
Trying to make a difference.
Okay, I understand. What's on your mind, gorgeous?
So I wanted to talk to you. Actually, I invited you to one of my classes in the fall because I teach psychology.
That's right. So what is the status of that given the COVID?
Right now, they're trying to have it in person, so we don't know anything.
Let me know. I can drive up. That's not a problem.
Yeah, they're excited to see you. I told them you might come.
Okay.
So,
do not mention the college's name.
I'm not.
Okay.
But I did want to ask you, because I know you talk a lot about people always talking about things instead of doing it.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest people do it? Like I held a Zoom thing on from commit to the present. Kids in my community that they didn't come from slavery. Because that's taught in the school. That's the first thing they're taught.
Yeah.
Place where they're thinking they're inferior. So where do people start? Because people all they want to do is talk. How do you suggest they can take action?
Well, first you got to find the people who are interested in taking action. Because most of our people don't want to work. I can guarantee if you go on YouTube right now and if you take the 20 or 30 biggest fake woke voices on YouTube, they're not going to do any work unless they're in front of a microphone, right? So you got to find the people who want to do some work. And then once you find the people who want to do some work, you have to choose a project, something that's going to impact change. It could be on the low level now. You got to crawl before you walk, something real simple, okay? And you build them up with small victories towards more larger responsibilities, you know? So it could be something helping the elders. It could be a Pan-African Boy or Girl Scout rites of passage program, simple things. And then you lead up to the more stronger things, but meet them where they are. Don't give a baby solid food. And so with our folks who are not used to struggling for black folks for free, you have to meet them at a low level, start a newsletter, build a website together, put out conscious information. You know, let's go to a school board meeting and let's protest one of the recent changes. Let's go to one of the governor panels and express ourselves there. Just slowly get their feet wet in the world of legal activism. because we know down the line there becomes a time for illegal activism. But get them started with the legal activism first and build from there.
Okay, thank you. I'm getting them to come out. I think a lot of people don't want the truth. There's a lot of information.
Oh, they don't. And why don't they want the truth? The main reason our people don't want truth is because truth is painful, and truth also provides you with an obligation to do something about it. Our people don't want the responsibility for change. That's why we keep going back to the government. They need to give me reparations. They need to put me back in segregation. If you notice, every time we talk about solutions, we go right back to the government because we don't want the responsibility or the obligation for change. And that's why we'd rather stay ignorant.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you. I know it starts small, but we're trying to give it a try.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you got me on the phone, so text me, call me. We can always talk.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, gorgeous. Take care. All right.